Jallikattu is back after a gap of 3 years. It finally made a comeback today in the state of Tamil Nadu. The first legal Jallikattu event was conducted in a place called Madurai and Tiruchi district, where 40 bulls were allowed to run as part of the event. In fact, a bigger event, which the Chief Minister openly Selvam was supposed to flag off in Madurai, had to be called off as a result of the protesters who refused to relent despite an ordinance sidestepping the Supreme Court ban. Locals in Madurai blocked roads and destroyed the slated event site, claiming that the ordinance is nothing but a temporary and a stopgap measure, and are now demanding for a permanent solution, stating that Jallikattu needs to be legalized and needs to be brought back immediately. I'm going to go straight across now to India Today's correspondent Revathi for more on this. Revathi, first of all, tell us about the Jallikattu, where it was conducted exactly, and did everything went off as per the plan?
Well, Avantika, Jallikattu, the event is supposed to take place in Alanganallur village in Madurai or the other two villages, Palamede or Avniyapuram. But since the villagers had gathered and occupied the ring where Jallikattu is supposed to happen, all the government officials had to return. But since they had come here and they had to inaugurate, officially start off the Jallikattu, you could call it a namesake Jallikattu, was held in different parts of Tamil Nadu, for example, like in Trichy and Coimbatore. But the main event, according to the traditions, it is supposed to be held here. So the locals are still continuing to protest, demanding that there should be a permanent solution and that they will not move or disperse from the place until they have that kind of a change in the law as well. Sir, when you started the protest, you said that there should be an ordinance immediately and you should be allowed to conduct Jallikattu. Now that they have allowed you to conduct Jallikattu, you're continuing your protest. What is the permanent solution that you're looking for?
The permanent solution is the ordinance is only one. This is the we want only the permanent solution, not for the simple solution. So whenever the CM also came, again we returned. Alanganallur is the main place, the whole world here, only Jallikattu, only move means the world only watch, the Jallikattu will start. Here Alanganallur people will protest is continue. Okay. No one start the Jallikattu. Okay. We want the permanent solution. Okay. We want also, only the permanent solution.
Also the Chief Minister has said that you can conduct Jallikattu whenever you want. Yeah. The policemen have moved from here, barricades have been removed, and you can conduct whenever you want. What do you have to say to that?
As you rightly pointed out, I think it's just a namesake Jallikattu that's been happening in many parts of Tamil Nadu. And it's also like when Chief Minister says something like you can do Jallikattu whenever you want. You know what? We could have done it very well last week itself. And we have waited this long, and we will definitely wait for another few more days to make sure.
How long can you protest like this?
As long as there is life,
right. As
long as there is life on earth, as long as there is life.
Indefinite protest, indefinite strike. That is the message that is coming from here in Alanganallur, in Madurai, Avantika. So their demand still remains the same: permanent solution. Those two words continue to echo from these villages.
And let's go straight across to Akshaya also. Akshaya, do you, are you getting the same sort of sentiment, that same kind of feeling from the people on Marina Beach who have been protesting for 7 long days? Because they are unrelenting. They remain steadfast in their demand that Jallikattu be legalized and that there should be no ban on it whatsoever.
Well, Avantika, here exactly, it's almost a similar scenario like what you have in Madurai. If I can tell you this, there's a sea of humanity that has joined here, and no age limit, no caste, religion or sex differences. And here I'm joined by these tiny tots. I have this 4-year-old little one who's come here in support of Jallikattu, and he's been here for the last 3 to 4 days. Thambi, edukkaga inga vandirkeenga?
Delhi festival.
He's come here to see Jallikattu. So these are the emotions that even the kids have been taught by their parents. They're saying that unless and until there's a permanent solution to their problem, that is like a ban being lifted on Jallikattu, they're not going to move out of this place, Avantika. An ordinance that they have passed right now is not something that is satisfactory. Anna, inga vandi ipo ordinance pass pannirukanga. Anna, neenga ipo உங்களோட ப்ரொடெஸ்ட் கண்டினியூ பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கீங்க, எப்பதான் நிறுத்துவீங்க?
அவசர சட்டம்னு போட்டுருக்காங்க. எங்களுக்கு நிரந்தர தீர்வு தேவைங்கிறது தான் எங்களோட கோரிக்கை. அதுக்காக தான் நாங்கள் போராடிட்டு இருக்கோம்.
Well, Avantika, the demands are very similar to what you have been hearing at Avaniyapuram, Alanganallur and many other parts of Tamil Nadu. The demand is one and very simple. Give us a permanent solution. Give us a law that says Jallikattu can go on forever and ever. Every year they cannot come and protest is what these people gathered here are saying. They're saying that they've stayed here for 6 days and it doesn't make a difference for them to stay another 20 or maybe indefinitely also, Avantika.
Absolutely.
There is undue pressure on the government here. The ADMK government is trying every means to move the public out, but unfortunately nothing seems to be budging the audiences
so
here.
the people of Tamil Nadu not giving up just as yet. They are, far from satisfied with an ordinance being issued by the state government that has been signed by the Tamil Nadu governor, C. Vidyasagar Rao. They want more. They want this to be legalized in its entirety. We have a report that my colleague Revathi sent in a short while back. Let's just see that once before I go back to our reporters.
This is the Vadi Vasal, the ring where Jallikattu is supposed to take place inside the Alanganallur village in Madurai. But as you can see, around me there are hundreds of protesters who have occupied this area to ensure that no government official enters and makes arrangements to conduct Jallikattu. The protests continue here in Alanganallur like elsewhere across Tamil Nadu. Sir, your request in the beginning was to bring in an ordinance to allow to conduct Jallikattu. Now an ordinance has been passed. You're continuing your protest. What is the demand, sir? What is the permanent solution that you're looking for?
We are looking for a permanent solution. It is an honor we can make Jallikattu for only 6 months, but we need a permanent solution. We need to conduct this Jallikattu for more years, not for this 1 year. So we are struggling for a long time. Until we are getting a permanent solution, we will be struggling here.
They're saying that the Jallikattu conducted in other places does not stand valid. It is not according to the tradition. It is namesake and perhaps forced by the politicians. And they're saying that they are ready to continue their protest, an indefinite protest, until their demand of a permanent solution is served. Remember, 1 week ago, these protests that you see was sparked off right here inside this ring in Alanganallur, where the villagers gathered and protested and camped through the night. That has gone for a week-long peaceful protest demanding just one thing, a permanent solution. These two words are echoing across Tamil Nadu as a chorus as protests continue throughout the state. With camera person Kumar, in Alanganallur for India Today.
Going back now to Akshaya. Akshaya, so now what is the plan? Will the people continue to stage this protest? When is it that they will finally call off their stir?
Well, Avantika, it is seen that the protest is going to go on indefinitely. They need a permanent solution for the whole issue of Jallikattu, and they're saying that they also need the amendment of the PCA Act. Unless and until these are not done, they are just not going to move out of this place. And you're just seeing that there are more and more people coming into the place, and there's not even an inch of space to move around in this whole area. And what they're saying is, we will keep thronging the beach and the area unless and until our requests are heard, and until and unless our requests are not taken into consideration, we are not going to move out of this place, is what they're saying, Avantika.
Absolutely, Akshaya. So those are the scenes and the voices coming in from Marina Beach in Tamil Nadu. The people refusing to give up their agitation. In fact, they're just waiting to hear from the Chief Minister and from the state government. Revathi, tell me something. Is there a sense that you're getting from people that they would want to hear some representative from the state government? They would want to hear their Chief Minister to speak to them, to understand where they're coming from or the concerns with regards to Jallikattu?
It seems like it, because the Chief Minister has clearly said that the ordinance that the state government has passed right now, the central government has cleared with the President's signature, is a final, is a permanent solution at the moment, because they're making it clear that there is nothing much more that they can do at the moment. And perhaps an ordinance drafted by the state government with the President's signature would have much more relevance and would be much more stronger also, and a little more difficult to challenge also, because the kind kind of cultural relevance that it will bring in the ordinance, and the kind of situation on the ground that it will include. So that kind of a sense or a details regarding the ordinance has still not come across to the public. There is no point person at the point, because the crowd is everywhere, everybody is protesting, and there is no point person to actually sit down and explain to the crowd that this is the ordinance, these are the points, these are the limitations, this is what will be allowed as such. But let me also get your voices from the locals. Sir, do the locals here want the Chief Minister or somebody from the government to tell you what exactly is the ordinance and give you clarity on what is happening at the moment?
That will be definitely a good solution in our personal view. But more than that, it's not just that. I mean, I think there is a big trust deficit with respect to both state government as well as central government. Like, yes, there is an ordinance, the president did sign it, but then we definitely do not know if it's going to materialize.
Okay, all right. So not just that there is lack of clarity, not just that people or somebody in the government have not spoken to them, there is also, even if they do speak to them, there is a trust deficit that lies on the ground, Avantika. As we've been reporting in all these days, they have not allowed any of these politicians to even come closer to their protest, making it clear that they have this trust deficit. They do not want any political angle to their protest as well.
You know, that's an important point that the gentleman there made, Revati. This huge trust deficit between the people of the state and the state government. I'm going to go straight across to Akshaya, who's also joined by senior journalist Sisodia. Akshaya, that's the important point, I think, that's emerging out of this movement. It's not just restricted to Jallikattu or the fight to lift the ban on Jallikattu. It seems to be a far more important issue here. This cynicism, this kind of mistrust that the people have in their own chief minister or the state government.
Avantika, in the last 6 days, what we have been able to understand is the pulse of the audiences. They're saying that the protesters are constantly talking about how they're disappointed by the government that is now governing the state. Until very recently, Chief Minister Jaitley was in the helm of affairs. Once the governance is changed, they're saying that the government right now is not doing the needful, and hence they've come out in protest. Let me also cut across to senior journalist Sudhir. Sir, the political scenario has changed a lot, and now that is also seen as one of the important reasons for the whole protest that we're seeing. We wouldn't have seen some similar situation if it was Jaitley or Karnanidhi, the helm of affairs.
Absolutely. If Jaitley was there, I don't think this kind of a protest, this kind of a turnout at Marina Beach would have ever taken place. But there are a couple of things here, Akshaya. One, there seems to be a large section within the AIDMK that seems to be, in fact, a little relieved that the Alanganallur Jallikattu did not take place. There is a power tussle, as you know, taking place within the ruling party, and O. Paneerselvam, the Chief Minister, was seen as someone who is taking the credit for having gone to Delhi, getting the ordinance issued. He issued a press release very uncharacteristic of him, and he himself said that he is going to go to Alanganallur and inaugurate the Jallikattu today. So in that sense, that since it did not take place, there would be a section of the AIDMK which would be happy that it did not take place. But having said that, the people here on the ground here at Marina Beach and even in Madurai are pretty disappointed, as you said, pretty angry with the manner in which governance has taken place, because they say the ordinance is only a temporary issue and they are not going to be deceived by the state if they are going to say that here is the ordinance, go ahead and do the Jallikattu and vacate this beach. That is not happening in a hurry, because the atmosphere here, as you have been reporting, is quite different. It's a kind which you have never seen before. It's an apolitical, leaderless, casteless, cutting across religious lines. So in that sense, Chennai really showing to India how a very different kind of protest can actually take place.
So they're also talking about how O. Paneerselvam and his ministers were not allowed at Alanganallur or Avaniyapuram or any of the places in Madurai, and hence they had to change the location to even Dindikal, and now even disappointment in those fronts. We have also been constantly hearing anti-slogans against Sashikala, Modi for that matter, and in fact even for against O. Paneerselvam. So what is the next step forward for the people of Tamil Nadu?
One, it definitely indicates a huge trust deficit. The fact that the SP and collector were not even allowed to get near the Vadivasal at Alanganallur indicates that they did not believe that even if an ordinance was signed by the governor of Tamil Nadu yesterday evening, it would really translate into anything, because there is a trust deficit. They do not really believe the word of the state government, not that of the centre, which is why it is finding resonance here across the Marina Beach in terms of extremely negative and some even bordering on very abusive terminology being used for the Prime Minister, for the Chief Minister and for Shashikala. So in that sense, in a way, it is some kind, if I may use the word, it's some kind of a revolt against the kind of governance that has been given to the people of Tamil Nadu, and that is what they are revolting against. And it is a warning signal that India in 70, the grammar of protest has changed. The template of protest has changed, that you could actually have a non-violent way of protesting, because I met and spoke to a whole lot of girls here today who say that otherwise it would not be possible for women to actually step onto the Marina Beach even late at night. That is happening, and that's a welcome change. So a whole lot of positives to take, but of course there would be also people who would be worried about what kind of a precedent it is actually setting and whether it's a dangerous precedent for governance in the country.
Well, Avantika, we can see that day 6 and the protest is just going on in full swing. There's no dip in energy or enthusiasm among these people. And yes, they're looking at an apolitical movement and saying a leaderless movement like this can have a victory. Then why aren't the state and the central government not doing the needful for the people in Tamil Nadu?
No, so Akshaya, why don't you just ask Sudhir this question, that what will it take, to reassure the people of Tamil Nadu, to instill that kind of trust in them that the state government perhaps is going to be speaking to the centre or for that matter will take up this matter on its own capacity in the Supreme Court and fight this case, because then tomorrow there will be other issues and other important ones like the Kaveri water sharing dispute. What will it take for the state government to calm tempers, to placate and pacify these very angry protesters?
Well, Avantika, we've seen that for the last 3 years. These people have been very patiently waiting for the Jallikattu to take place, but it just hasn't happened. But Sudhir, can you tell us, what will take for the people of Tamil Nadu who have gathered here to, move back? Because other issues like Kaveri, water management, and there's various issues that are also bordering into negative issues like farmer crisis also. So what will take for these protesters to move out of this place?
Well, it is not just to look at this entire protest as only a protest for Jallikattu would be a mistake. Jallikattu, to my mind, is essentially only the tipping point of the anger and the anguish of the people of Tamil Nadu, which has boiled over. There are many other issues, as you said, which have got mixed with this entire protest. There is the Kaveri water issue, and I remember in September when I was speaking to the farmers in districts in the Kaveri Delta, like Karur, like Trichy, there was a whole lot of anger that they were being made to feel like beggars by the state of Karnataka, which was not willing to release the Kaveri water, which was their rightful share despite orders of the Supreme Court. There is, of course, the issue of education, the issue of Coke and Pepsi, whether that they are taking water, which is being denied to the farmers of Tamil Nadu. So a whole lot of issues have actually got mixed up in this entire issue, but Jallikattu remains the tipping point. What will take for them to actually vacate Marina Beach? Very difficult to say at this point in time, because they believe that they are going to stay here, not vacate till some kind of a permanent solution to Jallikattu. Jallikattu is, to my mind, again, is not just the name of a bull sport. It has become synonymous with resistance. So when people put out slogans saying, I do Jallikattu, they actually mean I am doing resistance to the people to the government of Tamil Nadu, the government in Delhi. So in that sense, it is a revolt, it's a resistance against a whole lot of governance. So which is why I've said the entire syntax, the entire grammar of revolt, of resistance has changed as a result of the protests that we have seen here.
Sir, will this also lead to a situation where people continue to protest on various other aspects also and just not leave the marina? Because we have already seen many of them distributing pamphlets talking about how the native breed are talking about.
Well, what is happening is that there is also a division of, there is a divided opinion on whether they should actually continue with this. I was speaking to a whole lot of people who are actually, in a sense, representing the movement at least in the first 2 days, and they were of the opinion that they should actually call it off if Jallikattu takes place today. It has not happened in Alanganallur, but it has happened in other districts of Tamil Nadu. So should they actually risk the fact that the momentum could actually lag tomorrow when schools open, offices open tomorrow? Also, the Marina Beach Road is where the Republic Day parade takes place. The police would want to actually vacate this place. So we really do not know whether it would be a wise move for them to actually hold on for a long time.
Right.
So Avantika, the whole point is, will this movement fizzle out tomorrow once the working day start again? But it's a huge question, and looking at the crowd for the last 5 days, it doesn't seem likely.
Oh, absolutely. And we'll have to very closely wait and see as to how things move from today onwards, because Jallikattu, in fact, was conducted at a few places in Tamil Nadu. For now, Revathi, Sudhir and Akshaya, thank you all for joining us and speaking to all the people that have congregated in such huge numbers on Marina Beach for the last 7 days. A quick break. Up next, we'll also get you an update. Welcome back. We're getting in a reaction from the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, O. Selvam, who has promised a permanent solution as far as the Jallikattu row is concerned. Let's listen in.
பாரம்பரிய உரிமையான ஜல்லிக்கட்டுக்கு இருந்த தடை நீக்கப்பட வேண்டும் என்று தமிழக மக்களுடைய கோரிக்கையினை மாண்புமிகு இதய தெய்வம் புரட்சி தலைவி அம்மா அவர்கள் தமிழகத்தினுடைய முதலமைச்சராக இருந்தபோதிலிருந்தே பலமுறை மத்திய அரசுக்கு கடிதம் வாயிலாகவும் நேரில் சந்திக்கின்ற போதும் கோரிக்கை மனுவினை கொடுத்து வலியுறுத்தி வந்தார்கள். ஜல்லிக்கட்டுக்கு இருந்த தடையை நீக்கிட வேண்டும் என்று மாண்புமிகு இதய தெய்வம் புரட்சி தலைவி அம்மா அவர்கள் உச்ச நீதிமன்றம் சென்று சட்ட போராட்டம் நடத்தி அங்கே வழக்கு தொடுத்தார்கள். இந்த சூழ்நிலையில் தமிழக மக்களுடைய கோரிக்கையினை அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தினுடைய பொதுச் செயலாளர் மாண்புமிகு சின்னம்மா அவர்களும் நானும் மத்திய அரசை தொடர்ந்து வலியுறுத்தி கொண்டிருந்தோம். அந்த கோரிக்கையினை நேரடியாக நான் டெல்லி சென்று மாண்புமிகு பிரதமர் அவர்களை சென்று பார்த்து விரிவாக தமிழகத்துடைய பாரம்பரிய உரிமையான ஜல்லிக்கட்டிற்கு அனுமதி அளித்திட ஒரு அவசர சட்டத்தினை பிறப்பிக்க வேண்டும் என்று கேட்டுக்கொண்ட பொழுது தமிழக அரசு எடுக்கும் சட்டபூர்வமான நடவடிக்கைக்கு நாங்கள் உறுதுணையாக இருப்போம் என்ற உறுதியினை மாண்புமிகு பாரத பிரதமர் அவர்கள் அளித்தார்கள். அந்த அடிப்படையில் தமிழக அரசின் சார்பாக ஒரு அவசர சட்டத்திற்கு ஏற்பாடு செய்யப்பட்டு முன்மொழிவுகள் தயார் செய்யப்பட்டு மத்திய அரசினுடைய உள்துறை, சட்டத்துறை மற்றும் சுற்றுச்சூழல் ஆகிய துறைகளினுடைய ஒப்புதலை பெற்று மாண்புமிகு இந்திய குடியரசுத் தலைவர் அவருடைய ஒப்புதலை பெற்று அவசர சட்டம் பிறப்பிக்கப்பட்டது. அவசர சட்டம் பிறப்பிக்கப்பட்டதினால் ஜல்லிக்கட்டிற்கு நடத்துவதற்கு அந்த தடை முழுவதுமாக நீக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. இன்றைய தினம் தமிழகத்தில் எங்கெங்கு ஜல்லிக்கட்டு நடைபெறுமோ அங்கேயெல்லாம் வாடிவாசல்கள் திறக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. மாவட்ட ஆட்சித்தலைவர்கள் அனுமதி கொடுத்திருக்கிறார்கள். மாவட்ட காவல்துறை அதிகாரி உரிய பாதுகாப்பினை பல இடங்களில் இன்றைக்கு ஜல்லிக்கட்டு நடைபெற்று கொண்டிருக்கிறது. இந்த அவசர சட்டத்திற்கு வருகின்ற நாளை கூடியிருக்கின்ற சட்டமன்ற கூட்டத்தொடரில் சட்ட முன்வடிவு வரவு கொண்டு வரப்பட்டு சட்டமாக்கப்பட்டு இந்திய குடியரசுத் தலைவருடைய ஒப்புதலை பெறுவோம் என்பதனை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன்.
போராட்டக்குழு வந்து இது அவசர சட்டம், எங்களுக்கு நிரந்தரமான சட்டம் தேவைங்கிறாங்க. அது தொடர்பான விளக்கம், சட்டப்பூர்வமான விளக்கம் தமிழக அரசால் எடுக்கப்படுமா?
ஏற்கனவே நான் விளக்கமாகத்தான் சொல்லியிருக்கேன். நீங்கள் கவர்மெண்ட் கேட்கவில்லை என்று நினைக்கிறேன். ஒரு சட்டம் சட்டமன்றத்தில் நிறைவேற்றப்படுவதற்கு முன்பு சட்டமாக்க வேண்டுமென்றால் அவசர சட்டம் பிறப்பிக்கப்பட வேண்டும். அந்த அவசர சட்டத்துக்கு சட்ட முன்வடிவு சட்டமன்ற கூட்டத்தொடரில் 6 மாதத்திற்கு கொண்டு வரப்பட்டு நிறைவேற்றப்பட வேண்டும். அதைத்தான் தமிழக அரசு இன்றைக்கு செய்திருக்கிறது. தன்னுடைய கடமையை சென்று செய்திருக்கிறது. நாளை நடைபெற இருக்கின்ற சட்டமன்ற கூட்டத்தொடரில் சட்ட முன்வடிவு வரைவு கொண்டு வரப்பட்டு அது சட்டமாக்கப்படும். இப்பொழுது அவசர சட்டம் பிறப்பித்திருக்கிறதே நிலையான நீடித்த சட்டம் என்பதை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன்.
உங்களோட விளக்கம் ஏற்க மறுக்கிறான்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? அவங்களுக்கு இது தொடர்பான புரிதல் இல்லை நினைக்கிறீங்களா? இல்லை இதை தீர்ப்பதற்கு
அந்த காரணங்கள் உங்களுக்கு நன்றாகவே தெரியும்.
Okay, that was the Chief Minister speaking after he was forced to abandon his plan of inaugurating the Jallikattu ceremony officially in Madurai. But he is promising for a permanent solution. We'll get more details on what he just said in a bit. A quick break right here. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.